Hey guys, Codicius here, bringing you another DomiNations video. Today's video is a two-parter. I'm going to cover the Bronze and Classical Age wonders. We will cover Gunpowder and Industrial Age on the next video. So let's go ahead and jump into this, starting off with my personal favorite, the Acropolis. The Acropolis makes your defending army tougher, speeds up troop spawning at nearby garrisons, stables, and bunkers. It starts off with hit points of 2880. As you can see right now, mine's at 3900. That's due to the age I'm in. And just another known fact that people don't usually know is that it also has 8 squares range, meaning how far the radius is to touch the other buildings. What it does is it gives my defenders plus 15% health, and it also makes them spawn 20% quicker. So it takes 20% off their spawn time. I'm going to show you guys an example of why I personally consider the Acropolis one of the best. Is because if you look here at my garrison, traditionally it takes 10 seconds for the first wave, 25 for the next. But if I move it back in here within the Acropolis range, and then we take a look at it, well, the first wave is going to spawn out in 8 seconds, additional wave within 20 seconds. That is huge. You know, that's 2 seconds off your wave, and that's, you know, another 20 instead of 25. So it's pretty big. We're going to go ahead and head into the next one, and the next one is going to be the Hanging Gardens. The Hanging Gardens increases the resource gained from nearby fruit trees and gold mines, increases the frequency that they can be gathered. It has a collection time of minus 50% off the time it takes, and also a 20% off how long it takes to regenerate. Also gives you a plus 20% gather amount. The Hanging Gardens is a good wonder for, in my opinion, early to mid game. It kind of loses its pizzazz in the late game. But the reason that being is that 20% gather amount really isn't as effective, and there comes a point where the only reason you're really even collecting your bushes and your gold is for the resources it gives you for your mercenary camp. Like I said, the Hanging Garden is great for early game. We're going to jump into the next one, which is going to be the Pyramids. The Pyramids grant a boost to nearby farms, and that's a 20% boost. It has a range of 6 squares, again being, you know, the range of how much it can cover. The Pyramids are really good. I feel it's more of a wonder for those people who want to play the game more passively and aren't as committed to doing multiple attacks and grinding out the different buildings. They just want to relax and enjoy the game for what it is. And next, but definitely not least, is going to be Stonehenge. Stonehenge grants bonus gold every time you collect from a caravan, increasing the effectiveness of your road network when connected by roads to your town center. Bonus gold per caravan plus 20%, road network plus 100%. Stonehenge, in my opinion, really isn't as effective as it looks like it is on paper. It does have 1,800 hit points, but beyond that, plus 20% gold per caravan really isn't that effective, and plus 100% on your road network. I mean, that just like I said, Stonehenge is just like Pyramid in my opinion. It's for the player who wants to play the game very passively. But if you're in this game for the long haul and you really want to enjoy it, Stonehenge really just, I don't feel like you get enough bang for your buck when it comes to this wonder. Now, in my opinion, what would make Stonehenge actually better is if it actually gave a plus 100% boost to like your town hall. I don't know if that would be OP or not, but it would be a much more considered wonder in my opinion. So just a quick recap on the Bronze Age wonders from best to worst. In my opinion, number 1 hands down is going to be the Acropolis, and it's just because that spawn time and plus that 15% of health is huge. I mean, defenders are one of the most crucial, you know, defenses that you have. You know, it's your army to go out and face their army, and getting your dudes produced, you know, those couple extra seconds don't seem like much, but whenever you're talking, you know, an extra wave or two in the battle, that's the difference between victory and defeat on a defense. Number 2 is going to be Hanging Gardens. The reason the Hanging Gardens comes in at number 2 is because for early game, it is great for getting you into the game. It really allows you to, you know, jump into the game and get ahead real quick. I mean, because early game, the bushes and the gold mines are very valuable. But there comes a point in the game where those little, the 20% that it gives you for your bushes and your gold mines really kind of tapers off, and I don't see it as effective. But like I said, early to mid game, Hanging Garden's great. Late mid game to late game, not as effective. Next up is going to be the pyramids. Or I'm sorry, Stonehenge. Sorry, Stonehenge. In my, we'll go ahead and take another look at it. Just sorry, it's a lot to remember. Stonehenge, in my opinion, just the plus 20% to caravan really isn't all that effective, and the 100% road network sounds great, but come later on in the game, it's just you're not going to be able to grow your cities as well as you would like if all you're doing is living off the passive growth that your caravans and your farms and your roads and the different trades and things that, like your bush and things, produce. It's eventually going to come down to you attacking, you going out there and getting that resource, and for that reason is why Stonehenge falls off, in my opinion, is third. And last on this list of the Bronze Age is going to be the pyramids. The reason being is plus 20% boost to farms. Like, woo! Like that's it. That's what it's got going on for it. I mean, yeah, the range is pretty respectable, six squares, but I mean, 20% to farms. I mean, like, let's go look at my farms real quick. My farm health right now sits at, well, the production is 1,500. So if you're talking, you're talking maybe an extra 400 per hour. But what is that? I mean, that's nothing come late game. So pyramids, in my opinion, is the worst, and Acropolis is the best. Without wasting any time, we're going to go ahead and jump into the classical age wonders. And we're going to start things off again with my personal favorite, and that is going to be the Coliseum. Coliseum provides the strength of the gladiator power in combat once a day. Increasing the effectiveness of your troops produces defenders when you are attacked. The Coliseum starts off with 1,800 hit points, but as you can see here, mine has 3,900. It also starts off, the very first defender within there is the Hoplite, which, little known fact, is the Greek, long ago it was the Greek Special Forces unit. It was known through all of Greece. You had, the Athenians had hoplites, Sparta had hoplites, Troy, etc., etc. So it's just the backbone of the Greek army, the hoplite unit. The thing that makes the Colosseum great, in my opinion, is its range. Look at this range. It is insane. It literally covers the entire board. There's not really much bad that I can say about the Coliseum, because you also get the once a day, you get the gladiator power, which adds 20% attack damage to all your guys. Combo that with an infantry spam or something, it's huge. And how many times that power has pulled me through in a battle in war. Next up, the one that we're going to talk about is the Forbidden City. The Forbidden City acts as a second town center during combat, making it harder for your opponent to earn a victory. Once a day, you may collect bonus food. The hit points of the Forbidden City start out at 1,800. The bonus food starts at 10,000, but you actually get plus 5,000 per age. That in its own is pretty good. I don't feel that is what makes the Forbidden City a great wonder. I actually feel the fact that it acts as a second town hall, for like in war. I don't know how many times that, I've done attacks and things on cities, and, I may have overlooked the Forbidden City, and because I overlooked it, that was the difference between a 4 and a 5 star. So the Forbidden City can really be the difference between, does your city get dominated in a war, or does it get 4-starred? So, Forbidden City, in my opinion, is one of the best for the classical age for late game play. Early game, I mean, it's cool, you get that extra food and everything, but I just don't see it as effective as it could be. Next up, one we're going to talk about is the Library of Notre Dame. And I've actually played this because, as I've told you in earlier videos, I did start out as the Greeks. It reduces the cost of library technologies and unit upgrades. It cannot be attacked. Once a day, you may collect bonus gold. It does allow you to get a 10% technology discount and a unit upgrade discount of 10%. The gold that it does start out at, actually, when you first get to build it, is 5,000, but it gets an additional 5,000 per age. The Library of Notre Dame, early game to mid game, in my opinion, is the best of the classical age wonders. The reason it falls off to the Coliseum is because the Coliseum consistently grows with your city. Other than the gold growing, those, the 10% discount is nice, but there comes a point, I mean, you look at some of these library books, they're unreal how expensive they are. I do not know why that will not click. There we go. Sorry, that took a second for some reason. But I mean, you look at some of these. I mean, they get up in the millions. I mean, 1.6 mil, 2 mil, 1.5 mil, 1.6. I mean, I can say that a lot of these books were upgraded while I had the library, but there comes a point where that 10% really isn't as effective, and the same can be said for troops. I mean, if you look at the troops over here, 10%, out of 5.5 is going to be roughly be that 500,000. And once you've already grinded that 5 mil, what is that 10%? It's nothing. So, in my opinion, that's why late game the Library of Notre Dame does fall off. And the last one that we're going to talk about today is actually the Terracotta Army. Ooh, sorry, that's Forbidden City. The Terracotta Army allows you to summon the Terracotta Army once a day. Increases the health of nearby castles and barracks. Barracks health plus 20%, castle health plus 20%. The Terracotta Army on paper sounds wonderful. I mean, who doesn't want, an extra 10 dude or extra 20 dudes, being 10 archers, 10 infantry, and they're also equal to the current level of your troops and your blacksmith. It does actually have about 1,800 hit points on it whenever it starts. I'm not sure what it's up to now because I haven't used it. But my problem with the Terracotta Army is that it is a one-trick pony. Once you collect the once you use the guys, what does it really have going for it? Other than that plus 20% to castle health, it just doesn't really do enough. I mean, who really gives a fuck about plus 20% health on their barracks? I mean, okay, they're a little bit stronger, but what do they really do? That's my big problem with the Terracotta Army. Like I said, it's a one-trick pony, and I feel that that's what kind of brings it down, it scales it down a little bit, is once you use those soldiers, once they've been, and it can be great for like a war attack or something, but beyond that, you're not really gaining, maximizing what the potential of the wonder, because, like I said, that's all it's really got going for it. Now, I'll go ahead and give you a quick recap on the classical age wonders and what my opinion is on what best to worst. Number one, as I've already told you, is going to be the Coliseum. The reason the Coliseum takes number one for me is the fact that it always is active. It has that passive ability built into it that whenever someone decides to, get ballsy and attack you, you're going to have 8 dudes default out the door within 4 seconds ready to defend. Combo that with the 8 seconds it takes to defend your other guys. Well, right now I have 5 garrisons. So you're talking within 8 seconds, I have 28 defenders on the field. That's huge. The other plus to the Coliseum is the power of the gladiator. And like I said, I've used that in multiple wars and it's pulled me through. So this is the reason that the Coliseum is going to take number one, is that it is always useful. It is never just sitting by doing nothing. Number 2 on the list, in my opinion, is going to be the Library of Notre Dame. The Library of Notre Dame, for early to mid game play, is very effective. I mean, it allows you to really burn through some of those early, really hard to reach technologies and upgrades that you're trying to get done. And if it wasn't for the Library of Notre Dame, I don't even know if I would be in the Industrial Age. So don't discredit this wonder for early game. It's just for late game players like myself and others, around Enlightenment, Industrial Age, there comes a point where that 10% really isn't as effective as it seems. So that's why Notre Dame really takes second, in my opinion, only to the Coliseum, is because it does not have as much use, in my opinion, in the late game. Number 3 on this list is actually going to be the Forbidden City. The Forbidden City, as I stated before, the great thing about the Forbidden City is the fact that it actually, it does something beyond the gold. I mean, it can literally be the difference between that 4 and 5 star victory. So that is why the Forbidden City is really going to take number 3 for me, is just how clutch it can be in a fight. And last but not least is going to be the Terracotta Army. As I said before, it's a one-trick pony in my opinion, and beyond the army that it gets and the castle plus 20% health, what else does it do? It really doesn't have anything else going for it. But there you go. That's my opinion of the wonders in the Bronze and the Classical Age. Like I say, you don't have to agree with what I say. These are all opinions. And at the end of the day, I want everyone to pick what they feel best fits their play style. If you're the guy who's going to sit by and, you want to play the game, you want to fill it out, you want to enjoy it, you're not in here, competitive like most of us, and you want to really get in there, then you know the pyramid, or you know the other which one is it, the Stonehenge, you know, those two are more for passive players. But if you're the diehard guy who wants to really get in there and get things done, then that's why ones like the Library of Notre Dame, you know, the Coliseum, the Acropolis, you know, hell, you know, they just they're for the player who is diehard about some DomiNations, and I know that I damn well am. But this is Codicius, and that about wraps it up for today. Remember to tune in for the next video, where I'll be discussing gunpowder and industrial age wonders. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, this is Codicius. See ya.